In 2005, The Closer gave us a team of detectives millions of viewers couldn't forget. But nearly 2 decades later, the actors behind those badges have lived through scandals, heartbreak, and unexpected life changes. Some disappeared from Hollywood entirely. So where are they now? Let's find out. Francis Sternhagen as Willie Ray Johnson. Francis Sternhagen was born on January 13, 1930, in Washington, D.C., USA. At 76 years old, she played Willie Ray Johnson, Brenda Johnson's fearless and outspoken mother in The Closer. Her fiery personality and sharp humor instantly made the character unforgettable for viewers. Away from television, Sternhagen built a family life that demanded extraordinary balance. She married actor Thomas A. Carlin in 1956, and together they raised 6 children while she pursued an intense stage career on Broadway. The marriage lasted until Carlin's death in 1991, leaving Sternhagen a widow after 35 years together. Despite that devastating loss, she continued working relentlessly in theater and television, appearing in productions such as Cheers, ER, and Sex and the City. But advancing age gradually began to challenge the legendary actress. By the time she appeared on The Closer, Sternhagen was already in her late 70s and quietly dealing with the physical decline that comes with old age. Even so, colleagues often marveled at her professionalism. She never forgot a line, rarely complained, and continued delivering strong performances while balancing film roles in projects such as Julie and Julia and The Mist. Sadly, Francis Sternhagen died November 27, 2023, at 93 years old, peacefully at her home in New Rochelle, New York. At the time of her death, her estimated net worth was around $5 million, the enduring result of a lifetime devoted to theater, film, and television. G.W. Bailey as Detective Lieutenant Louis Provenza. George William Bailey was born on August 27, 1944, in Port Arthur, Texas, USA. At 61 years old, he played Detective Lieutenant Louis Provenza, the blunt, sharp-tongued veteran detective in The Closer. The role instantly stood out, because Provenza's sarcasm and unpredictable temper often cut through the tension of the squad and became one of the most memorable elements of the series. But away from the cameras, Bailey's longest relationship collapsed after more than 3 decades. He married Eleanor June Gooseby in 1966, built a family with 2 children, and believed the marriage would last a lifetime. Instead, the relationship quietly fractured and ended in divorce in 1999 after 33 years together. The separation shook him deeply, arriving just as his acting career was gaining renewed attention through roles connected to projects like Police Academy and later The Closer. After that break, Bailey never remarried and withdrew from romantic life almost completely. A darker emotional struggle soon followed. Children close to Bailey's family were diagnosed with leukemia, and the shock pushed him into periods of depression that he rarely spoke about publicly. The experience changed his priorities overnight. Bailey devoted enormous energy to the Sunshine Kids Foundation, organizing trips and events for children fighting cancer. The work became a personal mission, a way to confront the fear and helplessness he had carried for years. As of 2026, G.W. Bailey is 82 years old. Age has brought heart and joint problems, but he still supports charity programs for children with cancer and occasionally appears at television events connected to The Closer and major crimes. After decades in Hollywood, his estimated net worth is about $3 million, built from a long career that turned an aging character actor into one of television's most recognizable detectives. James Avery as Dr. Crippen. James Avery was born on November 27, 1945, in Pughesville, Virginia, USA. At 57 years old, he played Dr. Crippen, the respected medical examiner in The Closer. Though the role was brief, his calm authority and unforgettable voice immediately gave the character weight in the series. Away from the cameras, however, His personal life carried a quiet, emotional struggle. Avery married Barbara Avery in 1988, and their marriage lasted more than 25 years. Barbara already had a son, Kevin Waters, and Avery embraced the boy as his own, raising him with deep devotion. Yet friends later revealed that Avery privately struggled with the fact that he never had a biological child of his own. That unspoken sadness remained with him for decades, even while he continued building a respected acting career through projects like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and voice work as Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But another battle was slowly unfolding behind the scenes. For years, Avery suffered from type 2 diabetes, a condition that quietly damaged his health and eventually contributed to kidney complications. Despite these problems, he kept working and rarely spoke publicly about his condition, continuing to appear at events and support younger actors who admired him. That long health struggle led to a tragic final chapter. On December 31, 2013, James Avery died at 68 years old at Glendale Memorial Medical Center due to complications following open-heart surgery. His passing shocked fans and prompted heartfelt tributes from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air cast, including Will Smith and Alfonso Ribeiro. Avery was cremated, and his ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean, and at the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at around $3 million. The legacy of a career built through perseverance and talent. Tony Denison as Detective Lieutenant Andy Flynn. Anthony John Serrero, known as Tony Denison, was born on September 20th in Harlem, New York, USA. At 56 years old, he played Detective Lieutenant Andy Flynn, the stubborn, street-smart investigator in The Closer. Flynn's sharp humor and emotional loyalty turned him into one of the show's most beloved characters and a perfect counterpart to Provenza. Yet Denison's real life carried fractures that fans rarely saw. He married Jennifer Evans in 1986, and for years the couple tried to hold together a marriage while Denison fought his way through Hollywood. But as The Closer exploded in popularity, the pressure of constant filming and the ghosts of his earlier addictions widened the distance between them. The marriage finally collapsed in 2008, right at the peak of his television fame. The breakup shocked many who believed the couple had survived Hollywood's worst years together. Behind that collapse was a long battle with alcohol addiction that had nearly destroyed Denison long before success arrived. In his early career, he struggled with uncontrolled drinking and violent mood swings, problems serious enough to threaten his acting future. Recovery demanded therapy, support programs, and relentless discipline. Even after becoming famous through roles in Crime Story and later The Closer, Denison admitted the fight against addiction never truly disappeared. It simply became a battle he learned to manage. In 2026, Tony Denison is 77 years old and remains a respected figure among fans of television crime dramas. He now appears less frequently on screen, but stays active at charity events and reunions related to The Closer and major crimes. After decades of steady acting work, his estimated net worth stands at around $5 million, the result of a career that survived addiction, divorce, and the unpredictable storms of Hollywood. Michael Paul Chan as Detective Lieutenant Michael Tao. Michael Paul Chan was born on June 26, 1950 in San Francisco, California, USA. At 55 years old, he played Detective Lieutenant Michael Tao, the calm, analytical investigator in The Closer. Tao's quiet intelligence and subtle humor gave the squad balance, turning the character into one of the most steady and trusted presences in the entire series. Yet the path to that role was far from smooth. Chan married Christina Ann Chan on January 11, 1975, and their long marriage endured the unstable early years of his career when work often disappeared for months. Hollywood repeatedly pushed him toward stereotypical Asian roles he refused to accept, even when it meant losing income. Those decisions created tension at home, because financial uncertainty hung over the family for years. The emotional strain of those struggles never completely disappeared. Chan carried the memory of growing up in California during a period when Asian children were frequent targets of bullying and humiliation. That experience hardened his resolve, but also left a quiet psychological weight that followed him into adulthood. During the years he appeared in television series like Bones and Babylon 5, Jon openly pushed against roles he believed degraded Asian actors, sometimes sacrificing opportunities simply to protect his dignity. As of 2026, Michael Paul Chan is 76 years old and remains widely respected for the character of Michael Tao across 109 episodes of The Closer and 105 episodes of Major Crimes. Though he appears less often on screen today, he continues supporting Asian American theater organizations and mentoring younger actors who face the same barriers he once fought. After decades in film and television, his estimated net worth is around $6 million, the result of a career built on persistence and principle. Raymond Cruz as Detective Lieutenant Julio Sanchez. Raymond Cruz was born on September 10, 1964, in East Los Angeles, California, USA. At 41 years old, he played Detective Lieutenant Julio Sanchez, the intense, disciplined investigator in The Closer. Sanchez's quiet strength and moral certainty made him one of the most emotionally grounded figures in the squad, but Cruz's life before fame looked nothing like the orderly world of television detectives. Growing up in East Los Angeles, he lived in a neighborhood dominated by gang violence. At 12 years old, he witnessed a man shot at close range, a moment he later described as permanently burned into his memory. The trauma followed him into adulthood, shaping the cold intensity audiences would later see in roles such as Training Day and Blood In, Blood Out. Even after marrying actress Simi Mehta, the emotional scars of that upbringing never fully disappeared. The psychological pressure reached a dangerous point when Cruz simultaneously played Julio Sanchez in The Closer and the terrifying drug lord Tuco Salamanca in Breaking Bad. Tuco's brutality was so extreme that Cruz admitted the role began to invade his personal life. He suffered exhaustion, anxiety, and emotional instability while filming scenes of violence. Eventually, he asked producers to write Tuco out of the story earlier than planned because the character's darkness was becoming overwhelming. As of 2026, Raymond Cruz is 61 years old and continues to work in film and television while living a relatively private life with his wife Simi Mehta. After decades in the industry, his estimated net worth is about $4 million, earned through a career shaped by survival, discipline, and a lifetime of confronting the shadows he first saw as a child. Kyra Sedgwick as Deputy Chief Brenda Lee Johnson. Kyra Sedgwick was born on August 19, 1965, in New York City, USA. At 40 years old, she played Deputy Chief Brenda Lee Johnson, the brilliant, unconventional interrogator in The Closer. Her performance became the driving force of the series, turning Brenda into one of television's most unforgettable crime drama protagonists. That confident character hid a woman shaped by deep childhood scars. Sedgwick's father left the family when she was only 4 years old, leaving behind a lingering fear of abandonment that followed her into adulthood. When she met actor Kevin Bacon, the relationship moved quickly, and they married on September 4, 1988, after meeting on the set of Lemon Sky. Their marriage produced 2 children, Travis Bacon and actress Sosie Bacon. But even within a stable family life, Sedgwick admitted that the fear of losing everything never completely disappeared. She poured that emotional tension in The Woodsman and Something to Talk About. Then came a shock that nearly shattered their financial security. In 2008, Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon were among the many celebrities caught in Bernie Madoff's massive Ponzi scheme, losing a significant portion of their wealth overnight. The loss forced Sedgwick into a relentless work schedule, pushing herself through long filming days on The Closer, while privately dealing with anxiety disorder and severe claustrophobia, conditions she later spoke about openly. Those struggles made her performance even more intense during the show's most demanding seasons. As of 2026, Kyra Sedgwick is 61 years old and remains active in Hollywood as an actress and director while continuing her long marriage with Kevin Bacon. The couple divides their time between New York and their Connecticut farm, and Sedgwick still appears in television and film projects while mentoring younger actors. Together, their combined net worth is estimated at around $45 million, rebuilt after the devastating financial blow that once threatened their stability. J.K. Simmons, as Assistant Chief Will Pope. Jonathan Kimball. Simmons was born on January 9, 1955, in Detroit, Michigan, USA. At 50 years old, he played Assistant Chief Will Pope, the stern but politically cautious superior officer in The Closer. The character added tension to the series by constantly challenging Brenda Johnson's unconventional methods. Yet Simmons's success arrived much later than most actors expect. For years, he struggled through small theater roles, musical performances, and minor television appearances while trying to support himself financially. During those uncertain years, he met film director Michelle Schumacher, whom he later married in 1996. Even after the marriage and the birth of their two children, Olivia Simmons and Joe Simmons, the financial pressure remained intense as Simmons continued chasing roles while appearing in projects like Oz and Law and Order without major recognition. The strain of that long climb nearly pushed him out of acting. By middle age, Simmons admitted he seriously considered quitting the profession because stable work seemed impossible. Yet persistence paid off when his career suddenly expanded through roles in films like Spider-Man and later the explosive performance in Whiplash, which shocked audiences and critics alike. During this period, there were also rumors that loud action scenes had damaged his hearing, speculation he firmly denied while continuing to perform demanding roles. As of 2026, J.K. Simmons is 71 years old and still astonishing audiences with his discipline and physical transformation, maintaining an impressive muscular physique through intense training even in his 70s. He continues acting in major film and television productions while living with his wife Michelle Schumacher and their children. After decades of persistence in Hollywood, his estimated net worth has grown to about $20 million, the reward for a career built on patience, resilience, and a refusal to give up when success seemed impossible. Jon Tenney, as FBI Special Agent Fritz Howard. Jon Tenney was born on December 16, 1961, in Princeton, New Jersey, USA. At 44 years old, he played FBI Special Agent Fritz Howard, the calm, strategic federal agent in The Closer. The character became a crucial emotional pillar of the series, especially through his complicated relationship with Brenda Johnson. Yet Tenney's personal life exploded into public drama. He married actress Teri Hatcher in 1994, and their relationship initially looked like one of Hollywood's promising partnerships. But the marriage slowly deteriorated under the pressure of fame, culminating in a high-profile divorce in 2003 that drew relentless media attention. Tabloid speculation followed Tenney for years, fueled by paparazzi and rumors surrounding Hatcher's rising fame during the Desperate Housewives era. The storm of publicity became so intense that Tenney reportedly sought psychological counseling to regain emotional balance. The pressure did not end immediately after the divorce. Tenney struggled with anxiety brought on by constant media scrutiny and the fear that his personal life would overshadow his career. While filming The Closer, he quietly redirected his focus into directing several episodes of television and taking on new acting roles in projects such as Scandal. The shift behind the camera helped him regain confidence and rebuild stability after years of emotional turbulence. As of 2026, Jon Tenney is 65 years old and continues to work steadily in television as both an actor and occasional director. His life also found new stability when he married producer Leslie Erdang on June 16, 2012, forming a quieter family life alongside his daughter Emerson Rose Tenney. After decades in Hollywood, his estimated net worth is around $6 million, reflecting a career that survived both public scandal and the intense pressure of celebrity life. Robert Gossett, as Assistant Chief Russell Taylor. Robert Gossett was born on March 3, 1954, in the Bronx, New York, USA. At 51 years old, he played Assistant Chief Russell Taylor, the disciplined, politically aware commander in The Closer. His presence gave the series an authoritative balance, often acting as the calm strategist above the chaos of the major crimes division. But behind that composed screen image stood a lifelong struggle for recognition. Gossett grew up in the shadow of his famous cousin Louis Gossett Jr., the legendary actor who became the first black man to win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. That achievement cast a long shadow over Robert's early career. Casting directors constantly compared him to his celebrated relative, forcing him to prove repeatedly that his talent stood on its own. Determined to carve his own path, Gossett pushed forward through theater productions like Fences and television appearances in series such as NYPD Blue and Crossing Jordan. Unlike many actors navigating Hollywood pressures, Gossett kept his personal life unusually private. He married Michelle Martin Gossett, and while the relationship eventually ended in divorce, the couple raised 4 children largely outside the spotlight. Rather than chase publicity, Gossett focused on steady work in television and film, appearing in movies like Arlington Road and The Net. That quiet persistence allowed him to build a career defined by reliability rather than fame. As of 2026, Robert Gossett is 72 years old and continues appearing in television roles, including memorable appearances on the long-running soap General Hospital as Marshall Ashford. Though never one of Hollywood's highest-paid stars, his decades of consistent acting have built an estimated net worth of about $1.2 million, representing a career forged through determination and independence rather than inherited fame. Corey Reynolds as Detective Sergeant David Gabriel. Corey Reynolds was born on July 3, 1974, in Richmond, Virginia, USA. At 31 years old, he played Detective Sergeant David Gabriel, the ambitious young investigator in The Closer. Gabriel's loyalty, ambition, and occasional moral conflict made him one of the emotional bridges between the older detectives and the new generation of the squad. Yet Reynolds' journey to that role began with absence and struggle. He grew up without a father, a void that shaped much of his early life. Music and theater became his escape. In his 20s, he sang in small clubs and stage shows just to survive, moving from job to job while chasing auditions. The breakthrough finally arrived when he landed the role of Seaweed in the Broadway musical Hairspray, earning a Tony Award nomination. Still, stability remained fragile when he transitioned to television with appearances in Without a Trace and The Guardian. Even after the success of the series, Reynolds faced a quiet crisis of confidence. When The Closer ended, acting opportunities slowed, and the sudden silence of Hollywood forced him to question whether his career had peaked. During those uncertain years, he continued appearing in films such as Red Tails and Straight Outta Compton, but the roles were smaller than many expected. The comeback finally came when he found renewed recognition as Sheriff Mike Thompson in Resident Alien, a role that restored both visibility and confidence after years of doubt. As of 2026, Corey Reynolds is 52 years old and continues working steadily in television while raising his son, Revan Blue, with his wife Tara Renee Skamansky, whom he married in July 2008. His career now balances acting, voice work, and occasional stage appearances. After decades in entertainment, his estimated net worth is around $3 million, built through persistence after a long road from small club stages to national television. Mary McDonnell as Captain Sharon Rader. Mary Eileen McDonnell was born on April 28, 1952, in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, USA. At 57 years old, she played Captain Sharon Rader, the disciplined internal affairs commander in The Closer. Her character's authority and moral clarity quickly became a powerful counterbalance to Brenda Johnson, eventually leading Rader to take center stage in the spin-off series Major Crimes. Behind that commanding screen presence was a life marked by quiet, emotional trials. McDonnell married actor Randall Mell on September 29, 1984, and the couple built a family with 2 children, Olivia Mell and Michael Elliott Mell. For decades, their relationship appeared solid, surviving the unpredictable pressures of Hollywood while McDonnell balanced film roles in Dances with Wolves, Passion Fish, and later television successes like Battlestar Galactica. Yet after nearly 4 decades together, the marriage reached a breaking point. In 2021, the couple separated, leaving McDonnell to confront the painful reality of rebuilding her life at nearly 70. The emotional weight of that separation came after a career already shaped by intense dedication. McDonnell had spent more than 20 years in theater before achieving international recognition, earning 2 Academy Award nominations for Dances with Wolves and Passion Fish. Even while appearing in major films like Independence Day and cult classics such as Donnie Darko, she often carried the quiet pressure of proving that a mature actress could remain relevant in Hollywood. That determination helped her lead major crimes with a calm authority that resonated deeply with audiences. As of 2026, Mary McDonnell is 74 years old and continues acting in television and streaming projects, including her recent appearance in the Netflix series The Fall of the House of Usher. After decades across film, theater, and television, her estimated net worth stands at around $14 million, reflecting a career built on endurance, talent, and an unmistakable screen presence. Nearly 2 decades after The Closer first aired, the cast who brought these unforgettable detectives to life have walked very different paths. Which cast member's story surprised you the most? And who from The Closer, 2005, do you still remember the most today? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more then and now stories about the stars you grew up watching.